All right, everybody, we got it. We got it. This is our first time on YouTube Live, but we are there. And I just need to make sure that I can see us and the comments that are going to be. All right, everybody, we got it. We got it. This is our first time on YouTube Live, but we are there. I just need to make sure that I can go there. I just need to make sure that I can see us and the comments that are going to be. Yeah, let's go. All right, everybody, we got it. We got it. Three versions of it. The first time on you. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, thank you for bearing with us. This is the HBCU Daily Grind, resources beyond the yard. My name is Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. Also, your HBCU advocate. Go spread the word, y'all. Go spread the word. So the HBCU Daily Grind is all about, of course, HBCU alum. And it's about their HBCU story and life. So we're going to bring some entrepreneurs on here. They're going to share what they do in life, as well as we want to take them back some as well. So hold that thought. You can find us at HBCU by Association. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so many platforms that we're on. So you can find us there. So today we have a special guest in the house. And let me just let y'all know, just for disclosure, that's how you're supposed to say it, right? For disclosure, this brother and I, we've done business in the past and we'll continue to do business as we move forward. So without further ado, I want to bring to this is the first episode, the HBCU Daily Grind, Vaughn of HBCU Token LLC. Hey, bro, welcome to the Daily Grind.
Thank you, my friend. How are you?
And you know me, always improving and progressive, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm so phenomenal. This day on this side of the grass is always a thing, you know. I'm not complaining about too much these days, and I never had. And I'm just so excited about being on your platform. And one of the major things I love is that what you're doing and giving back to the community. I've known you for quite some time, and you're always on the cutting edge of giving folks entrepreneur information. And I'm just grateful to be a part of that platform.
All right, well, definitely appreciate you, man. So give a shout out. What's HBCU?
Oh, you and me, ass. Yeah, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. Oh my goodness, the yard. When you start saying that, I was like, oh, please, no, not that. I love UMES and graduated in 1998, criminal justice major, and so, and that was a wonderful experience. Probably pound for pound, it was the single most lesson that I've learned just being there and learning the different things that I did while I was there. And I like to apply that in our everyday life. So big shout out to all of the HBCUs. A lot of fun. And it's
a lot of fun, a lot of learning. So
yes.
You kind of jumped ahead, but that's fine. I mean, I like that because, I don't really like,
Yeah.
So that's good. So when I think about HBCUs, you let me know about this. I think about HBCU. So I'm gonna break it down. The H is for homecoming, man. You got to love the homecoming. The B is for Black excellence. The history, the degrees, and the professors who really gave into you. The C is for clubs and organizations. And the U is for a united place. So whether it's the lunchroom, going to a place on campus somewhere, and then of course the networking that takes place at the HBCUs. Which one do you identify, or do you identify with all of them?
I really identify with all of them because different things happen in those different events. I mean, when you think about the clubs, I think about the fraternities and a lot of things that what I've learned being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, just some of the things that I've learned just through that process and homecomings. Well, when I think about homecoming, because we used to host a lot of things. And so the humility and the hospitality, like I would spend so much time on just receiving the people who set the paveway before us So a lot of my homecoming when I was there, I mean, I never went to the game while I was there. I was always preparing and running to the store and being a service to others. And so at that point, no matter where you are, what statue you were on the yard, the homecoming really had me thinking about serving other individuals who set the paveway for us and united, man. Like a lot of times, even in lower education, they teach you how to do things by yourself, right? No, Dre, do your problem on your own. It was not a collaboration of coming together, a lot of group projects, and the world is nothing but collaboration, nothing but group. So being united and coming together and putting the best players on the court, leaving the egos to the side and giving people to hide your weakness and then be okay with your weakness, right? That's that united portion of it. And so I get fired up with that as well. Now I forgot what the B was. What was the B?
Black excellence, man.
Oh, Black. I mean, this Black History Month.
Yes,
Yeah. When you think about all of the things that have been created by Black excellence, and sometimes they sweep it under the rug. But when you think about all of the excellence and how great that we really are and the mind that we have, and that's what I get fired up as well. And things that we had to deal with in the past, how other individuals, races had to go around the Monopoly board probably 40 times before we got our first shot. And we still got Boardwalk. In some cases, we still got Park Place and North Carolina Avenue. And so that's what Black excellence is all about. And so with all of those things together, man, that represents the HBCU.
Absolutely, man. You said something, man, that, I think because there are people that's going to the games. But I was like you, I was going to homecoming, but I was networking outside of the yard, if you will, at the game. So that's so funny. But homecoming became that place, especially when you graduated, you've been out for like 10, 15 years, and you want to see the individuals that you were on campus with. So you kind of brought that back too. I like that, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about now, graduating from UMES and your entrepreneurial journey, because it just didn't just start overnight. So kind of talk about your entrepreneurial journey, and then we'll get into what you're doing today.
And I appreciate the question. I graduated in the middle of the year. So I graduated in December, right? And so it was in the middle. I'll never forget wanting to just get a job. You get a degree, you just want to make some money, right? And so I started teaching second grade, and I loved it, stayed there for 2.5 years. I was supposed to take the LSAT, but I enjoyed teaching. But what I didn't enjoy was my money, right? I love the feeling, but I wanted to be able to provide for a family that I didn't have at that point. And so I started looking at and going to the seminars of entrepreneurship. And the crazy thing is that HBCUs really, because we used to throw so many different events as a fraternity, that we started there, right? The business really started there on the events that we've thrown and hosted. I mean, we had cruises, we had Vast McKenzie coming down and doing revivals. I mean, you could be partying with the Nukes on one day and revival the next day, right? I mean, we were just always diverse in what we did, and it really taught me to never settle, right? It wasn't until I went to one of my fraternity brother, Sekou Gary, his father is Willie Gary, prominent attorney. And when I went to one of his parties, I said, oh, no, I don't have a business card. I'm a teacher. I need to be an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. And so that really sparked it out, and to see how much money he was donating to Shaw University. And I was like, man, I would love to be able to give instead of just tapping a basket at that time. I would love to be able to give to and reinvest into the university. And so we started, in real estate and mortgages, and that led to horse racing. And it was so funny. It was like, how in the world did you get in the horse race? I wanted to give somebody else a chance who had a barn and didn't have any horses. So I wanted to give it a chance, and we were successful in that. And so that's kind of how I started. And one thing always led to another, right? But the grind and the process of what I had to go through HBCUs, because I had some adversity in the HBCUs, but I had to overcome adversity in the HBCU and graduated. And I also applied what I learned there into the business world, because there was a lot of things that correlated. And so once I made a decision to become an entrepreneur, I never looked back. And I've been doing it for over 2 decades of entrepreneurship and not having a job. And I've just been really implementing the things that a lot of the HBCUs, and even traveling to the different HBCUs and the networking and everything, all of the experiences that you just said that represented the HBCU, that those are the things that really helped me get in business and help me retain to be in business, still in business today. So, man, I'm fired up about, my process. I'm fired up to be an entrepreneur. And I think that I don't care if you have a job or not, somebody should have some type of business. And so you can give your kids a choice, right? Because they tend to do what you do. You know what I mean? And so even if you have a job, it's good to have something on the side that you can work on your lifestyle, and then the job can pay for your living.
Yeah, I like that. So you hit on a couple of good points, man, as always. But you talked about some of the challenges that you had within the HBCU.
Yes.
But you didn't let that deter you because you still, contribute back to the university. I do want to ask the question, while you were at the university, did you do anything entrepreneurial, or were any of your professors entrepreneurs, or saying, look, y'all, like what you just said, it's good to go get a job, but make sure you have something on the side as well.
Yeah. I did a few things entrepreneurial, but I didn't never have a lot of professors, even the business folks teaching business. It was more from a corporate level. It wasn't own your own business. It was really still training to work for someone. And that was the one thing that I so appreciate your movement, right? Because you've been, really, especially with the kids, putting that seed in them. Like, it's okay to be an entrepreneur. Like, a lot of times I just remember my parents being a part of stuff, but not really explaining to me what they were a part of. And now looking back, I said, they were in business. Like, but they explained the job at that time, but they were always in business. And I think, and yesterday over the weekend, I did this exercise, just brought London, one of my twins, to different things that she will be taking over, just so she can see and touch and feel, so we can just start teaching at a young age, right? And so it starts right now. It takes a whole village. And that's the awesome, cool part about it, because my family, my mother went to North Carolina Central. My brother went to North Carolina Central. Oh, wow. My father went to UMES. My twin sister and myself went to UMES, right? And when we get together, it's amazing, that unity part. It's amazing what things can happen. My wife went to Bowie. So it's amazing what can happen when we have that united front and we all work together. We can move so many mountains. And I think that's what we really miss coming out sometimes of HBCU, is all like, if Omar's doing well, then Andre can't do well. And I got to talk bad and make an excuse why Omar's doing well, when really we need to collaborate and come together, because that's the only way that we can really get things going to where we need it. And if you have all the money and all the ideas for what you're doing, then it's not it. You know what I mean? You always need someone to carry out your dreams and goals when your dream is not big enough.
There you go. Absolutely. So, and that's what this is all about. This is not about, UMES or Morgan, Bowie. It's about 107.
Wow.
And we need to empower all 107 of these HBCUs and empower the next generation that's coming out. It could, have them work with the individuals, alumni who are already out and already building. So it's not, forget that you go to this school, I can't deal with you.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. I heard UMES, I heard Bowie.
Yeah.
And what's the other?
North Carolina Central.
Oh, North Carolina. I'm great. Put another school up in there. North Carolina Central. So it's all about all of us working together to empower each other and to build a true economic empowerment base in our community. So I definitely appreciate what the words that you generate. You said. So let's now move into this HBCU token. Bitcoin is out here. Ethereum is out here. You got so many of these. It's like 100. That's more than 100 now.
Thousands.
So many of these tokens and coins out there. Talk about HBCU token and how did you get to this point?
Well, the crazy thing is that when you look at, all of the Ivy League schools and you look at their endowment funds, it's a big separation, right? And, HBCUs almost have to beg, some of the alumni to be able to give back. And so you have to make a way innovative where it's a win-win situation, right? I remember back in the day, we had this pharmacy card when people would save money on their prescription, then the organization would get paid. See, that's a win-win situation. And so if you can find a way to create a win-win scenario for the alumni and the school where everybody can benefit and grow together, that's where the innovation is going. And right now, it used to be, and you look at study Ivy League schools, like there used to be 90% will be, the 401ks and just the basic generic, and 10% will be outside investing. Now it's reverse. It's 90% cryptocurrencies and all these other things, and 10% just the traditional ways, right? And so even they're moving with the paradigm shift. And so now I was like, wait, what is a way to create a win-win situation? And there's a lot of coins out there, right? And it's funny because some coins they just throw up. It's no real purpose, no real
Right.
usage, right? It's just a thing. Let me just get a coin, that's it. But then when you can create a coin that has a movement, that has a purpose, that it can be a win-win situation, that we can make sure that the HBCUs aren't left behind throughout this paradigm shift, because normally HBCUs are the last ones. You hear, folks giving money and this company giving money because folks don't have the right team in place, right? They're not moving with the time. This technology is moving so fast, right? So fast, right? At the speed of light. I've never seen it moving. So when we thought about the HBCU token, it was a great way to be able to not only educate the folks about the crypto space, but number two, to be able to raise those funds where it could be a win-win situation. And number three, just getting in position to open your mind, right? And bring then the NFT world and the metaverse world. Like, don't just be a part of the networks, right, when you can build it. And so we want to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere with the HBCU token. And then after a while, we'll be able to integrate and introduce other things that will blow your mind. But we have to start somewhere and meet folks where they are. But, we have to introduce it now, and we need to raise money. We need to do great things, right? It should sad that, the disparity between, this university and the HBCU is not even close. And so we have to start somewhere. And that's what this is about, starting somewhere, not the end all do all, but just starting somewhere so we can bridge the gap.
Absolutely. And how can people find out about the HBCU token?
Yeah, hbcutoken.io. They can find out about it. They can message me as well. But the good thing is that it's so early, right? We're creating the buzz, we're creating the community, right? And then we can get you the white paper so you can read up about it. But in this phase, you really want to deal with serious people. You know what I mean? Like folks that are, and like I know, folks in this day and age, for some reason, they're not serious, and you see, and this is the first time in a long time when you talk about business, like you see, if you go to certain malls, it looks depressing because a lot of malls are closing down, the stores are closing down. You see their favorite restaurants. I blew my mind when they said Texas Roadhouse was closed. I said, they closed today? I just couldn't believe it. Right. But that's the proof of what's going on with economics and just businesses, right? That's in your face. And so how about if we had HBCU in position that not only could we purchase the Texas Roadhouses, that we can start purchasing some of these folks and then put folks, owners from our business classes and set them up with the business, right? And giving them opportunities. So we don't control anything, and we don't own that much. And so we have to increase our stake in society. Your voice is not just your voice is what you own as well. What you give to the policies and the politicians, like all of that stuff, what you're donating. Like we should have buildings in our names, right? But you have to give back to us to have a building in your name. This is what legacy is really about. And that's what this whole HBCU token, that's the start of it. But we have some innovative projects that are right there that I can't mention right now, but we're going to get to it. We have some partnerships that are on the brew. So I'm excited about that because we can't do it alone. And if everybody comes together instead of the whole political, like my title, you're going to need, this is going to be a season that you're going to need the 12-year-old to give you some advice. You're going to need the 8-year-old because they understand some things that you don't understand. I've seen young lady, 12 years old, making millions of dollars in NFTs. So this is the first time in history that if you're not a double-digit millionaire, then you're one lawsuit from being broke, right? You're not a double-digit millionaire. So we just need to get and have this HBCU and bring the business people first, right? And get them together. When you bring the power together, that's when the magic can happen, right? But what it is, you might be doing your thing in the corner and I'm doing my thing in the corner. And that's kind of how we were raised, right? And everybody's doing their thing in the corner in secret, but there's no real power. If we just come together and collaborate, then that's where the power comes. And so that's why I'm excited about just bringing those 107 universities together and let's do something great for the greater good.
All right, that's a good deal. And you're touching on some good points, and I keep saying, HBCU by association, that's the name of the company. The podcast here is just one of the vehicles, the platforms to let people know, that this not about Omar, it's not about Morgan State, it's not about UMES. It's really about, how can we empower the alum? Because we have, I'm gonna say it, we have to re-educate the alum too, because some of them got some bad taste. Got a bad taste in their mouth from being at, one of the HBCUs. Hey, let that go. Yeah. Let that go so that we can continue to build a legacy, because it's the students now that we have to worry about. And if they're coming out not really understanding what you just talked about, an NFT or metaverse, if they're not understanding that, or the professors don't even understand it, we got to help them out.
Yeah.
We have to be in a position to make sure that they get that.
Yeah.
So, and I like what you said, working together.
You have to. I mean, and you have to not really look. And it's funny that I was sitting at the barbershop and they were talking about virtual real estate. He was talking to me. He said, man, I just fell on some virtual real estate. And I was like, and I wasn't looking at the messenger. I was just listening to the message. And because I could always look it up and research. He said, man, don't worry about it. I'll figure it all out in a week. Just give me a week. In about 2 or 3 days, I was like, oh my goodness. Now, if he had not mentioned it, or I wouldn't have been ready to receive, or if I would have been judgmental, then I would have missed out. And so this is a season that we have to be very careful on what we ignore, right? Because God is bringing certain things in your midst that all you have to do is open your ears and close your mouth and be able to monetize the information. And so, man, we've been monetizing that information, and that's critical information that we could give to the HBCUs, the alums, the chancellors, the presidents, because they need it. They're going to need somebody in their corner or in their board that knows what they don't know, right? That's what you have to have a board. You can't have everybody knowing the same stuff. You have to have different people from different walks of life who know something different than what you know. And that's where the collaboration comes from.
Absolutely. One of the things that we're doing is reaching out to these HBCU presidents of alumni associations. That's a great way to get in there and really talk to the alum, because you may not think about that you may not think that you are an entrepreneur, but I think everybody has some type of entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
And how can we really exploit that so that you can go out here and begin to build, man? Because again, our kids know. Our kids know that they're going to be good, so it's time for us to reach out to some other individuals who may not know. And, the crazy thing about this, Andre, so I think it was back in 2018, one of the students approached me. He said, look, Mr. Omar, he said, look, first of all, called Mr. Omar. He called me Omar, you over 21. But he said, Mr. Omar, he said, look, I want to build this wallet for Bitcoin. And I'm going to say, I said, what's Bitcoin? Because I didn't know at the time. I mean, I was, of course, invested in the stock market, but I didn't understand what Bitcoin was. Wow. And at that time, I can't remember if it was 1,500 or 15,000. Wow. Nonetheless, I should have got on it, because right now it's like at 47,000, So, but he was building a wallet for the industry, So, how can we begin to work with these students that first of all, you got to listen to them sometimes, not all the time, because sometimes you got to listen to them. And, if I would have listened, I could have had a couple of those Bitcoins by now. We're doing a whole lot of stuff, but we're still going to do a whole lot of stuff nonetheless. So with that said, what advice can you give to students? Because students are going to tune into this as well. What advice can you give to students who are not in the school of business? And I say that because not everybody, some people think that entrepreneurship is just in a business school, but entrepreneurship goes across campus. So somebody that's tuned in now who's an engineer, maybe an artist, they can experience entrepreneurship as well. You were in criminology?
Criminal justice, yes.
Criminal justice. Yep. And you killing the entrepreneurship game. Yeah. So what advice?
The one thing is to listen to everything, but don't pay attention to most of it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna listen just in case, because if I pick and choose what I'm gonna listen to, I could miss it. Yeah. But once I hear it, then I'll know what to pay attention to and what to act on. So that's what I'm gonna listen to everybody, pay attention to a very little, right? And then my suggestion is like, so if I'm in technology, right, then I want to partner up with somebody in marketing. I also want to partner with somebody in accounting, right? I want to, somebody who enjoys stock. I want to build my team. So even if, and this is where my point of hide your weakness, because whatever you're not good at, then that's where you want to get a network of people around you that are good in that area, and everybody stay in the lane. So if I'm an artist, I might not think that I'm a business person, but I meet a business person and they say, man, which in a vision, and I meet a visionary, right? You need to have a visionary, because everybody that's a business is not a visionary. That's so right. A visionary would tell the artist, listen, let's get together and take your artwork and create NFTs off of it, right? And let's call the accountant to do your numbers, right? And let's get the tech team to be able to put it all together. But you just do what you're good at doing, right? And so I would tell the young folks, like, don't believe everything you hear. Folks are always trying to discourage the young folks. Oh, you need a job. I don't know. I remember when I first decided to leave teaching, my mother's friend, some of them was like, he went and got a degree and got a master's and now he's a business. What about his benefits? What about this? And what about that? And it wasn't positive. If I wasn't a strong-minded person, then I could have listened to like so many other individuals that wanted to be entrepreneurs that went to HBCUs that didn't, because they didn't have the right environment. Having the right environment is so critical in entrepreneurship. Having the right environment, I'm telling you, it's like, I want to say over 80% of success because of the environment. Because it's like, if I'm sowing a seed, I want to make sure I'm sowing a seed on fertile ground. And so if I'm giving great information, so if we trade information with each other, we know it's on fertile ground, because we're going to take the things that we can use and we're going to implement it. It's not a waste of time. Instead of dealing with somebody who's lost their dream, and you're trying to coach them, come on, you sound like Flavor Flav, come on. And you sound like Flavor Flav, you're trying to pump them up, but they're not even excited about life. So how are we going to get somebody excited about something? And so another thing is, treat yourself to some experiences. Like, just don't do the normal things that normal HBCU folks go. Try something different. Try going to a restaurant that you would never go to in a neighborhood that you would never visit, right? And just suck up the atmosphere. Try looking at water. Instead of going on Memorial Day, going to Miami and South Carolina and the Essence Festival, try going out of the country somewhere that people are not going. Try going to Monte Carlo, right? Try going to the Maldives. Like, try going to different places to give you a different environment. When you change your environment, you're going to change your results. But most people are not willing to change their environment. I tell folks that you have to decrease the increase sometimes. So sometimes you have to decrease the shows that you're watching. You have to decrease the company that you keep. All these group texts and chats that you in that are not helping. There's a whole nother group of people that they have in group chats, but it's about productive stuff that's going to help them leave a legacy. So it's going to be a big divide. And as you see it, Omar, the middle class is going away. It's going to be the haves and the have-nots. And if we don't do something and stand up now and innovative, like HBCU Daily Grind and HBCU by Association and the HBCU Token LLC, if we don't do projects like that, then I can tell you we're going to be in big trouble.
Absolutely. I definitely agree to that. I just was reading something, last week about, the haves and the have-nots,
Wow.
Where individuals are, looking at resources, not just, a 9 to 5, but it's 9 to 5 and then another 9 to 5 in your entrepreneurial venture. And, we can't, like you indicated earlier, we can't be left out of this blockchain, this cryptocurrency, this metaverse. We can't be left out of there when the opportunities are right there. You can go to what we're doing here, YouTube University, to learn about this.
Wow.
It should be required for the students now in middle school. Well, let me go back in elementary school to learn about this metaverse, this NFT, because, you probably read the same article with this 12-year-old making all this money off of NFTs.
I love it.
So here's an opportunity for us to do likewise. And, we're putting together, HBCU by association, working with HBCU Token as well. So what advice would you give now to grown folk, man, who are in business? You said be what?
Be open. I look at my mother, and one thing that I get so excited about my mom is that every time that I'm over a house, or we're communicating when we have our weekly calls. She's getting up at the time. So she's taking a class right now. She might take an iPhone class, the things that she doesn't know. She might take a crypto class. She might be learning about NFTs, right? She's on conference calls, and she's 76 years of age, right? But what I love about it is she's staying hungry for information, right? She's just not hanging in her age group, right? And at that age, you see people going away from here. So she's making sure that even if she's a little bit in that network, she's being in our network. We're doing business. She's a part of Zooms and calls. And this is what I would recommend a lot of individuals, like, don't get set in your way. The world is changing. The world is changing. And so, and it's changing at a rapid pace for me. So I can't even imagine for my mother's age group, right? And the older folks, but we just have to be open. And even if you don't know, get some person that's younger than you and let them give you the game. Let them help you out, right? The partnership, the unity that we talked about, that I would recommend, but I wouldn't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself. Like, I don't know. If you say that, you still don't know, right? And there's opportunities there's so many opportunities for that demographics to lead the charge. Absolutely. They can lead a charge in just learning different things and giving their testimony to give the encouragement to other individuals of that age group. Because if nobody's stepping out there and doing something different, then how will folks be encouraged at that demographic? So I'm excited about, individuals that haven't given up on life. I tell people the most expensive piece of real estate in the world is a graveyard, because people are dead and gone without living out their dreams and goals, right? Don't be that person in the graveyard that the dreams went with you, right? Leave that legacy, share, collaborate with other individuals. And I'm telling you, it's going to be the greatest thing. My mother called me over and said, man, I cannot figure out. She had to do a double authentication on her crypto wallet. And she said, I can't figure it out. And I came over there, me and my chief tech, London, Vaughn, my daughter. So we go over there. I ain't had to call her yet. It got hard. I was going to call her. And so I went in, and originally it didn't do. And I kept going. And then she said, well, what did you do? I said, man, as long as you have people in your corner to be able to do it, you don't even have to know. That's what I'm here for. Yeah. Collaboration, call. So don't be afraid to say, you don't know, because I don't know a lot of stuff, but I bet you I can call somebody who does know. And it's not a knock against me. It's about putting the right team in place to be able to get it done.
Absolutely. And having a team is important too.
Yeah.
Your business team, your advisory board, or your, what I call your prove and progress team, those individuals, we don't, like you said, we don't know it all. And we also need people to help us out. I know with this tech now, and Imani is coming to me, I can help you out with that, or, with my mother, she'll be 80 this year.
Wow.
And we got her iPhone. She called me. I'm like, you can call your granddaughter. She knows probably more about the iPhone than me. So utilizing the younger generation. So I want to get into the HBCUs now, and what advice would you give to the HBCUs out there?
The crazy thing, it starts at the top. For so long, if you wanted to partner up with HBCU, it's just so difficult getting to the folks that make things move. And I tell people, it's not that serious. Some of the most successful people I know, they don't act busy. They're available, right? And then you see the folks that might have a position that the money really don't match a position, because they're not making millions and millions of dollars. And then everybody's so booked and busy. You know what I mean? And that's the difference that I see with successful people and not successful people, that unsuccessful people have to have a million meetings before something get done. And successful people, before the meeting's over with, a deal is being made. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. And so when it comes to the HBCUs, the presidents of the alumni, it's not that serious. The chancellors, it's not that serious. The presidents, it's not that serious. Like we cannot, it's so much work that needs to be done. We don't have to go through the bureaucratic stuff. We don't have to go to the politics of it. Like, either we're going to do it or not. And to not to make a decision is to made a decision. And a lot of times things get held up because I'm so busy this, and they can't focus. And then if you can't focus, just assign somebody to carry out those things, that have full authority to be able that you trust, that can carry out those things. So I see a lot of things that are not done in HBCUs, all because they don't have the right people in place to be able to carry out the things. They don't have folks to be able to run, to have that entrepreneur mindset to go take it to the next level. And until they open up, it will be no real change. And it starts here. It starts here with the grassroots. right here, HBCU by association, and you'll meet the right person who has a relationship with somebody else who has a relationship, and after a while, we'll be on the right track. But I'm just tired of being second fiddle to all the major universities when we're just as bright. We just don't know how to work together. So we learn how to work together, just like we're doing now. Then I think a whole leaf will change when it comes to HBCUs and endowment funds and raising money and buildings and everything else, and owning real estate, that's worth something, and digital real estate and NFTs. There's so many things that can happen with HBCUs and this whole paradigm shift with technology, and the best is yet to come.
Absolutely, man. I love that, man. I couldn't have said it better, man. That was great. We definitely need to make sure that, presidents sometime, and, I'm gonna say not just the president, president of the cabinet, you have to listen, especially to the alumni. I know some alumni are just gonna I'm gonna say play around, but there are some out there that are really about business. And if they're coming to you to enrich the university, open up your ears, open up your ears and open up your doors and allow individuals in there. So any final thoughts as we transition to almost closing?
Yeah, awesome. No, and this has been fun. I mean, I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative of all the things that we've been able to accomplish. Been going to a HBCU, my parents going to a HBCU, and just seeing how, we've been operating in excellence for a very long time. And it stemmed from us even making the decision to attend. A lot of times people look at HBCUs in the eye, but some of the greatest people come out of it, right? And it's what you do with the education and what you do with it. And I would just encourage people to support your HBCU. And even if you didn't go, if you went to a homecoming, if you attended any HBCU event, then you went to a HBCU. And so even if you didn't physically get a degree from HBCU, you should always have a special place in your heart other than a party that you went to making a difference. Because making a difference is making a difference. And we can create a whole movement when it comes to HBCUs and alumni and the students and giving folks like really doing a better job on getting kids and at a young age, just like they do with everything else, sports and athletes, to start them towards at a younger age. And so we can mold them into the culture on Black excellence in HBCUs and some of the great people and doing things more than just Black History Month, like just really looking at some of the top executives with HBCUs and educating people on the history. So I would definitely, encourage people to get the history together. Each HBCU come up with a history. So when you go to your website, folks can see some of the greatness that have come out of your institution. So that's the only thing I would say. Stay encouraged, do what you need to do, man, and just really get onto this movement and be a part and make a difference.
All right. And one last time, the HBCU token, how can people learn more about that?
Yeah, go to HBCU.
Can they buy it now or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, not yet. HBCUtoken.io to get some information. It's a very basic site. When we launch, it's going to be incredible, and just have the mindset of giving back. You know what I mean? Like have the mindset of giving back and being successful in your everyday life. So you'll need to give back because you need a tax write-off, right? That's the energy that we have to be in. That, man, we have to give away 10% because it's going to be crazy tax-wise if we don't. Like, be successful to that point and just get the right people in your circle. Be innovative. Be open for new information that comes. Don't get stuck in your own ways. And that's for everybody. And listen to our children. I'm telling you, listen to our children. Our children are brilliant. They're dynamic. They know things at a quicker pace. We doing things slow when it comes to them. Let's incorporate them into your business plan and do what you need to do. So that's it. That's all.
All right, get that. Now, is there an email you want people to reach you at, or they can find information on the
website? They can go to Vaughn_team@yahoo.com. They can go there, or they can go to the website, and we'll be able to service them.
All right, good deal. Well, Mr. Vaughn, Andre Vaughn, thank you for coming on, man. Kicking off the HBCU Daily Grind. Yeah. We're here every Monday, y'all, from 5 to 6 o'clock. So definitely tune in. So at this time, we want to thank Mr. Vaughn. Go onto the website, like and share this, subscribe to this channel, because we're going to be here. We're built to last, so we're going to be here. So make sure you do that. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I did see some comments on YouTube, so I got to figure out how to do the interview and respond to the questions, y'all. So that's going to be next time. I'm meant to get, one of these young folks to show me how to do the YouTube thing. But nonetheless, until next time, continue using the resources at the HBCUs to find the best in you. So we'll see you next time. We're going to let Mr. Vaughn go, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial I'm going to let you know what HBCU Daily Grind is all about. So really appreciate you, bro. All right. Really appreciate Andre Vaughn for coming on board. Now I need to figure out, I'm going to share my screen, everybody. Let me make sure I'm at the right place. So again, if you're interested in being a guest on the HBCU Daily Grind, you can email me at info@HBCU Daily Grind, and I will respond back to you. So I got so many windows up, y'all. I'm trying to figure out which one is which. Yeah, there we go. All right, here's the screen. There we go. So I'm gonna go through this fairly quickly. Just want to let you know, exactly what we do at the HBCU by association. So it's where HBCU alum entrepreneurs find the best in them, and it's resources beyond the yard. So we're all about, formed by a couple of HBCU alum, and we had one supporter. She didn't go to HBCU, however, she's still part of the team. And it's really about not just focusing on an entrepreneur, focusing on entrepreneur from a business perspective, but we're talking about personal economy, of course, making money, health and wellness, relationships, and lifelong learning. Our mission is offering HBCU entrepreneurs a community and resources to help them find the best in them. And that's what our mission is all about. And then you can see our vision up there: create sustainable HBCUs. That's important, y'all. Sustainable HBCUs with alumni entrepreneurs giving back. So as we see, Andre talked about some of these challenges. So from an HBCU perspective, alumni participation, how do you get individuals who graduated 10, 15, 20 years ago to really give back and participate in some of the activities that the university is doing? Mentorship for students that are interested in starting a business seems to be a challenge at some of the HBCUs. And of course, raising funds, whether it's for scholarships or some other form of activity. And then from an entrepreneur perspective, existing and budding, really access to quality startup and capacity building, entrepreneurial training. I don't think we need another entrepreneurial training program. However, we need training programs that's going to get us to the next level. Access to networks, how do we continue to build up our networks? Access to capital. Andre talked about with the HBCU token, that will be a way to generate some capital, not only for the entrepreneur, but for the HBCU as well. And then how do we get involved in a legislative ecosystem? Your local, state, federal governments, are you involved when it comes down to making decisions from a business perspective? And then access to media. That's why we created this HBCU Daily Grind, so that we can bring on people like Andre Vaughn and other entrepreneurs who have graduated from an HBCU and who are entrepreneurs. So what do we offer? We have this HBCU Alumni University, and I'm not going to read through all these. These are some of the activities under the HBCU Alumni University. We do have working on a plan to create a club on campus at these HBCUs. We do have a membership opportunity as well. And from our media platform, we have 2 podcasts, one dedicated to alumni HBCUs and one dedicated to entrepreneurs, just entrepreneurs in the community. So we bring on experts, or what I call subject matter entrepreneurs, SMEs, subject matter entrepreneurs, and have them provide or give feedback to an entrepreneur that has a challenge. A 30-minute podcast It's going to be fun. We actually are we're kicking it off that in March, as well as a HBCU by Association magazine. So stay tuned to that. And of course, we're selling merchandise and books and other services as well. So there are about 100 there's 107 HBCUs out there. We're focusing on not only the HBCU, we definitely want to reach into the university, work with the students and the residents around the HBCU. So we definitely want to make sure we're giving back to them as well. So here's our team, yours truly here. We have Seal Higgins, another HBCU grad, and we have Ebony Gaynor, who's also an HBCU, who's an HBCU supporter. So this makes up the team of the HBCU by association. And then, we can't do this by ourselves. So we're reaching out to presidents of alumni associations or even directors who are in charge of alumni associations. And we're looking to build our HBCU by Association Council. And that would be those members who are HBCU presidents of alumni associations or the directors. And then we have those people who are super excited about their school. We call them ambassadors to help spread the word, to help find out what challenges are HBCUs having. And can we provide the programming, or is there another way we can assist them to make sure that we're solving that problem? So if you are interested in any of those, you can email me at info@HBCU by Association. And of course, we'll have the students working with us as well. And then to get in contact with us, here's all our information here. As indicated, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. All HBCU by Association. You can find us, tune in to us. Email is right there. And then we also have this link tree with all of the links if you want to be a guest on this show or the other show, the Entrepreneur HBCU Game Plan. If you want to be a guest on that, you'll have an opportunity to do that as well. All right, so that's quick and easy. I'm gonna leave that up for a minute so you can get that, and I can figure out how to get out of that. So with that said, I'm gonna stop my sharing screen. Again, if you want to be on this particular show, please reach out to me. And again, like the channel that we have here, down there, like the channel, subscribe to it, and please share it with other individuals who are alumni, as well as some students, because this will be for the students as well. We'll talk about entrepreneurship, talk about our journey from the HBCU to the world of entrepreneurship. I want to thank those who commented on the YouTube, on the link, on the comment box, I should say. Next time I'll figure out how to do that. But nonetheless, I really appreciate you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We'll have a special guest next week. Like always, we have a special guest. Don't forget to like it and share it and subscribe to the button. Subscribe using the subscribe button below. And until next time, continue to improve and progress. Peace.